And then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like I'm like inside a mountain. And when I like bring my awareness to where I am, I'm like, there's this like opening, like a cave, that's overlooking at the sea. Like if I jumped out of the cave where I am, like I would like jump into the sea. And so it's like it feels like really fucking lovely. It's like just me. It's like just me in the mountain and the sea. And it's stormy out, so there's like storm clouds in front of me, and the water is like coming in and pushing itself against the mountain. And I can feel like, so it's like I'm getting, instead of moving into a river or moving into the sea, it's like the water is like that mist is just like coming in and just like really gently washing everything away, instead of me having to like jump into the sea. Like I'm like, I don't have to. It's like the water is kind of coming to me in a different way, and just like really, 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 really gently like washing over me. And I'm like, I feel like this chamber might come really quickly, or not. But so it's sort of like happening. It's like I can't keep up with it in another way. Like I know I'm going to get there and be able to explain everything to you, but it's like everything's already happening. And so I'm just like slowing it down a bit so that I can translate it to you. So I ask, because I'm like not going to move from this thought. And I know that like I'm not supposed to shift out of this cave. I'm not supposed to jump into the water. Like I'm not actually going anywhere else. Like everything's coming to me, which is really interesting. And so I just tune in to ask the guardian of your soul to come forward, so that I can ask permission to enter into either chamber, like whichever chamber we need to move into today. And it's like, so we are going to be moving into the chamber of gifts and treasures, but it's like this mist moves in and is the guardian of your soul. And so she like appears behind me. And even though like you would think I would want to turn around to see her, I don't. It's like there's like something intentional about me continuously like facing forward and not looking behind me anymore. And so I can feel her and I can sense her, and she like takes form as this like water goddess, but she's like made of mist. And she just gently places her hands on my shoulders so that her and I can move into connection. And so I'm just asking her for permission to enter into your chamber of gifts and treasures. And if she is the guardian of your soul, and then it's like something really beautiful happens. So she like shifts me out of my physical form and like moves me into the same form that she is, essentially. So like my physical body is going to stay with this mountain and with the sea, and it feels like beautiful. Like it feels like it will be really held there. It almost feels like one of these mountains is like my aunt, to like my sacred mountains. It's like they're like, can you watch our child? Like, so they've like called on this mountain to like watch over me. And so I'm like, okay. So I like, my body stays in that mountain, and then I'm carried like into the mist with the guardian of your soul, so that I can move into your chamber of gifts and treasures. And so we sort of like drift over the ocean, but it's almost like we're going into another realm than staying on Earth. So we like drift over like into the ocean. So we're just like floating above the ocean. And then this like really beautiful golden light comes forward. It's like the sun, except there's no sun. It's just like the light of like this really lovely golden light. And so we start to move in towards the golden light. and the guardian of your soul comes with me until like the very entrance, like to the chamber. And so there's these like golden doors in front of me, and they're like emanating this like light from them. And so she leaves me here. So she's like, okay, like she'll wait for me on the other side of the golden doors. And I'm like, okay. So I push open the golden doors, and I just like need a minute to get my bearings. Running around everywhere. So it's like the land of the lost boys, when they're all playing and being like, there's kids running around just like everywhere. And I'm like, oh, like I've been here once before, like only once. And I was like, it's like so fucking beautiful and like so sweet. But this like Mother Earth like tends to the souls of children that when their souls get lost. So she like when they're not cared for and nurtured and nourished in the ways that a mother should tend to their children, this is like where she takes them and offers. She doesn't do this for everybody, but she like offers to be their mother. So I can see like Mother Earth, like the spirit of Mother Earth in the distance, and it's like chaos in here, but it's like joyful chaos, and like she doesn't care. Like she like does like she like loves it and like loves all of these kids. So I walk towards Mother Earth to ask me to take her to you, like the spirit of you, this aspect of your soul. And so she takes my hands, and so you're away from all the other kids, and you're in this like room, and you're organizing this room. So there's like crystals and like plant medicines and tinctures and herbs, and you're in there, and she's like singing to herself and like just doting around and like doing all these things, and she's probably only like the really cute part of this is like she's like 5. So she's kind of like acting like an adult, but she's like a kid. And so she's like 5, and she's like getting this like room organized the way she likes it, and like all of her medicines like laid out. But the medicines feel like her friends. They don't just feel like the medicines. Like it feels like this is who she's been like hanging out with. Like the other kids are kind of annoying. So it's like she came in here and has really beautiful relationships with like all the plants, all the crystals, like all the medicines in this like cute little apothecary. So it's like totally an apothecary. And she's so happy, and so she's like talking to like she rearranges, like it's like she comes in every day and like moves them around. It's like, oh, like Peppermint wants to be beside Rosemary now, and like my apophyllite stone needs to sit with frankincense. Like she like knows where all her medicines like want to be and who they want to sit with, and all the things. And so eventually she knows I'm there, but she's like I have to wait until she's done tending her little apothecary. And Mother Earth like smiles at both of us, and then like shuts the door behind her, and is like leaves us in here, because she like, so Mother Earth is like holding these aspects of everyone's souls until they're ready, but like ultimately she wants them to be returned to they're like who they're from. And so she like smiles and like kind of and just walks away. And so the little girl turns to me, and then she starts to shift into the age that you are now. And so, but I can see like pieces of her like at 15, like this isn't just one aspect. It's like parts of a fragmented soul. So it's like 5, and then like 15, and then like 21, and then 27, and like 32, and like 41. Like it's all these fragmented aspects that like when they couldn't handle like what was going on, just like went here for like reprieve. Like they were like, you know what, I need to just like step back and like go to the sanctuary so that they could be preserved. So they've like joined her. And some of them, it's like some of them felt like they've drifted in and out of you. Like they would come back to support and then leave again. And so it's like they've never had that ability to like fully be returned to you, because they've never felt like their foundation was there, that they could be like, okay, like let's move back into her and be fully embodied again. So they would like drift. Some of them have never come back when they left, and some of them have just drifted in and out and would be like, oh, bye, it's like too hard right now, I'm gonna go like retreat in this little sanctuary. But it's like now, you know, like you are creating the sanctuary. So it's like the apothecary that you literally have. Like they're like, great, like now is the time that you're showing this aspect of your soul, that like you're actually ready to receive it and hold it, and that you're like willing to create and can create, and almost like you've let go of it being anyone else's responsibility. It's like you are taking responsibility and accountability for like your own being, your own life, and you're no longer waiting or relying on someone else to create it for you. And so it's like that's what they were waiting for to come back. Like for you to get to that space where you were like, oh, I'm going to step into my gifts. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to care for me, you know, care about me, like all of those beautiful things. Because it's like you're stepping into like you're ready to like love yourself, embody yourself, embrace yourself, and like create and cultivate the life that you are and that you have dreamt of. But it's like you're actually like taking steps to do that. And so now it's like you need this part of you back. So now that they've like communicated that, so I'm just going to be quiet and introduce myself and tell them that we're here to return any healed aspects that are ready to be returned to you today. And if there's anything that they would like to share with us about the Chamber of Gifts and Treasures. So the biggest thing that I'll mention, and that feels important, is like this aspect of your soul feels very peaceful. So like very rooted, very peaceful. It's like really lovely. And so this chamber like literally like represents your gifts, like your medicines. So it's like, but your earth medicines. So it's like your relationship with like the crystals, your relationship with the herbs, your relationship with the plants. And it's like you've been doing that, but it's like you've been longing for this part of you that like knows how to move into like communion with them, and will start to like hear them talk to her and start to, like they've been calling to you, but it's almost like there's just been this like final kind of barrier to move through, that they can start to like, it can start to be like embodied. And it's like you've had to protect this part of you. So it's like that's why it's left, because it's like people would take advantage of it or want it for themselves or diminish it, and so this represents like you, like in another way. So like when I say your gifts, it's like literally also you. This isn't like one thing. This is like the nature of who you are and the nature of your soul. And it's like, it's never been in a state or in a place where it can be fully embodied and embraced by you and then fully witnessed and received by the people around you. And so you've never been able to like fully step into your gifts. Like I said, you've had moments where it's like you would step in and then step out and step in and step out, and none of them are separate. So she's even showing me like I can't remember what chamber it was, but where it was like you sang the songs, like the star songs to the earth children. It's like this is also all part of it, because like, yes, it's like that part of you came back, but it needs this part to like embody and then offer in another way. Like it's like you've been missing this aspect of you that is going to embody and embrace and integrate all of those gifts and all of those medicines. And they were waiting until, so it's like you needed those two pieces to know who you were, to remember who you were. But like, this is the part that's going to actually like embody it and embrace it. But they were waiting like patiently until you were in a space that you could actually fully receive it and embody it, and then step into the gifts of that and the offering of that. But again, it's yourself. So this isn't limited to like working with herbs. It's like what do like the people need? What are you being called to? What do you have access to? And what can you resource? And so for like, yeah, like it might be like the star song for somebody, and it might be like a herbal tincture for somebody else, or it might just be listening to another person, or it might be like networking and collecting, like getting them in touch with who they need to be in touch with, like all of those things you've been working towards. But this is just like this really beautiful embodiment of it. So it's like you've been missing that part of you that feels settled and feels peaceful and content, because she's never been safe enough to like be embodied and embraced within you or from the people around you. And it's like, now is the time. So like now you are curating and cultivating what she needed to be able to access you and be returned to you. So this is also the part of you that like sees itself as sacred and will begin to like tend to you in the ways that you've needed. And again, like without relying, it's almost like the phase of like the wounding is shifting. Like it's like, okay, that's done. Like whatever. This is like what happened and to how we got here, and now how are we going to move forward? And so what do you need to be tended to? What do you need to be supported? All of those things. But it's like releasing the patterns and the behaviors of the past, and like finally being able to hold and witness like the power and the strength of who you are, and also like this deep level of like contentment and peacefulness, and some ease, like starting to allow some ease to flow in, like to the body, to the mind, and to the spirit. And so in some ways, this chamber is like so simple. Like I said, I was like, it's going to happen quickly. Like it's like there is a simplicity in it, but there's such a beauty and such a power and such like, it's almost like more profound than all the others in another way. Cause it's like showing you have achieved the state where you can actually like embody and embrace your own life and no longer just be responding to the forces that were implemented or interfering with you, or do you know what I mean? It's like you're creating your own force now to live in like a much different state of being, and you're no longer like like going to be a victim to the forces that were around you or influencing you previously. It's like you're literally creating your own force of nature around you now, and like embodying and embracing the beauty of what that has to offer, and like the peace that comes with it. So I'm just seeing like if there's anything else, but it's like I said, like when I was like, oh, we're doing this, it's like you're ready, and like you actually need this peace back now. Like this isn't just like, oh, it'd be nice to have that peace back. It's like you need it to be able to like move into your destiny, move into the truth of your expression, and for you, and to be in the force of your own nature. And so again, she's bringing forward the act of gentleness. Like this isn't overwhelming. This is like a gentle creation, a gentle cultivation. So it's like the same way you plant seeds and tend to them. You don't plant a seed and then you're like, grow. You like witness it's blossoming. Like when the first sprouts come out, you're like, oh, that's so beautiful. And then like by the end of the season, you have a full garden of like all of these different things that all started out as these beautiful little seeds. So that's sort of what they want. It's like the phase of life you're entering is like planting the seeds for the garden, and then like watering the garden, nourishing the garden, and then allowing the garden to blossom in its own time. And so this isn't like that impatience in you is shifting also. And so there's like this other like maturity and beauty of patience and kindness and contentment and peacefulness and surrender in other ways, to allow like the cultivation of your garden. And so she's just reminding you of that. So it's like, yes, you need her to like be fully embodied in the nature of who you are, and for the gifts to become the seeds, but she's not in a hurry. It's like your life has been a lot, and so she's like shifting you into a different phase of your life where it can start to like actually be enjoyed and like witnessed and observed, and again embodied is the biggest piece she keeps coming back to. And so even this like 5-year-old self that is like embodied within her is like so grateful and thankful to like be coming home, to be like coming home back to you, and like she's loved, that Mother Earth has tended to her, and that she's been nourished and supported when she's been away from you. But she's also like ready to feel like that warmth, to feel like the connection to this earth realm, to like be fully present here instead of like kind of in that state of like not wanting to be here, wanting to be like back in the star realm or wherever. It's like she's ready. She's like ready to be fully present here, to be fully witnessed here, and to bring those gifts and medicines, like even from the previous chambers, like forward. It's like she is the vessel that can like bring all of those forward to be offered in like a tangible and really beautiful way. So I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else that I need to share with you before. But we're already like drifting. Like I started to feel disoriented, and I was like, oh, we're like already drifting out of this chamber. So it's like the same how I became the mist. It's like that's kind of what starts happening. And I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that. So I'm like, oh. So then we start to like drift and float back outside the chamber doors to be, and then we like move back into form, which feels wild, like not our full form but like our spirit forms. And so I'm just checking in with the guardian of your soul. And so she's just her and I are standing hand in hand, and we're facing the guardian of your soul. And so we're just checking in with the guardian of your soul to see if there's anything else that needs to be completed or that we need to be aware of before this aspect of your soul is returned to you. And she's like acknowledging your fight. It's like going to make me cry. So she's like acknowledging that you've had to be a warrior, but like you're shifting now. So like you don't have to be a warrior. It's like you can stop fighting. So she's like giving you, like she's telling you, she's like, it's okay to stop fighting and start to like move into this like really beautiful embodiment of like of who you always were, but just like could never be held by anybody, you know? So she's just like honoring that, like that you didn't give up to like find yourself and find these pieces and all these things. And so it just feels so beautiful. So she just like needs you to know that you have been honored and you have been held and you have been loved and you have been supported the whole time. It's just that not from like where you were trying to seek it from, but that they like never forgot about you or gave up on you, or it's like they've been tending to you the whole time. And so like want you to know that sometimes like life is challenging on like this realm, but that they have always like held you and loved you and supported you and have been waiting for you to move into a state where you are ready to like hold that and honor that and embody that within yourself. So she just says like that needed to be acknowledged to you before this aspect of you returns, because then it's like you are then in that next phase. And so again, I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else that we need to do before this aspect of your soul is returned to you. No, she feels ready. So her and I turn to face each other. So she's going to be returning through your solar plexus chakra. So I just want you to place your hands over your solar plexus chakra. And I'm just going to allow her to move into my physical body before I return her to you. And so she's actually going to like move into your solar plexus chakra, but then she like that golden light is like illuminating. It's like this seed is being planted in each of your chakras that carries this like golden light, so that they're like that connection between earth and sky is like restored, and there's no separation between your sky self and your earth self. Like you are officially like the bridge and rooted in this world, but have access to the cosmic realms. Mm-hmm. And so it just feels so beautiful. So as she returns to you, we drift back into the mist and back into the mountain overlooking the sea, and back into my physical form. And so the guardian of your soul still stands behind me. And so I'm checking in with her again to see if there's anything else that you need to know, or that I can do for you, or that I can do for her before we close this chamber. And she just like moves back into the mist. And then I'm just sitting with my eyes closed, like feeling the wind and feeling the ocean, feeling the mountain. And it's like going to make me cry again. Like I feel like so content and like so connected. Like I feel so connected that it's like that's the part that I'm like, oh my god. Like it's like I feel like finally. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, I'm finally here. Like and can be like who I need. So obviously that has nothing to do with me. It has to do with your soul. But it's like so subtle and like so fucking profound at the same time because I finally feel here. And so that it's so beautiful. So I think this like beautiful mountain, the sea, the weather beings, the guardian of your soul, Mother Earth, pretending to this aspect of your soul. And so when you're ready, I want you to just cross your arms over your chest to close this chamber. And then we can like not talk about all of the things, none of the things. It's your beautiful soul piece.
That's lovely.
It was so fucking beautiful. Like, oh my god. And even like all the flowers like around where your bed and like the butterflies and vines where you are right now. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That was so lovely.
That's so beautiful. So it's like you are the gift, you know, and your connection to all the things is your gift. And so if you still have your mandala, do you still have it? Probably not because you moved.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Okay, that came in my handbag.
Okay, good. So you're going to do the same things. So take an unlit match, hold it at your sacral, heart, third eye, blow the gifts that returned to you today, which is you, essentially. And then light the match and let it burn, and then add whatever you want into your mandala to represent this aspect of your soul or not. Like your mandala might feel good the way it is, but it was like, this was so fucking beautiful. Like so simple in so many ways, but like that's what it was like both the combination of like being so profound, and also like I thought it was just so beautiful that she sort of is like the container for those other chambers. So it's like the other chambers are there within you, but they haven't integrated fully because they like needed her.
Yeah. Like waiting for the rest of the gang to show up.
Totally. And then it makes sense that like then our final chamber is the chamber of passions, because it's like you needed to be fully present in here in another way for us to be able to move into the chamber of passions.
So with chamber of passions, is that about love and sex and about?
Not necessarily. No? So it's like it depends. Like some people's passions have been like painting.
Ah, right, okay.
Or creating.
I guess for me it'd be music.
Yeah, other people's passions, it's like joy, like whatever. So we don't know until like we move into it. So sometimes it's like that sensual, like literally passion. Yeah. But often it's not. It's like it's like can be something totally different that we haven't. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so cool that there was an apothecary.
Yeah, it was so cute. She was like the cutest. Like I was like, oh my god. She's just like knew who needed to be beside who, like who was doing all the things. Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm in line with what I'm supposed to be doing.
Totally. It's like that's why this piece could come back and why we needed to do it now. Right? Just because you are stepping into it. So you just needed like the final piece to be like, great. Yeah. She's ready. She like chose. It's like they were waiting for you to choose this. Yeah. And then we're like, okay, now we'll come back. Yeah. Because you chose it. Yeah. So now I need to be able to concentrate more and do some journeying with my plants and stuff like that. Yes, but it's like you needed this container for like all of those other gifts to feel like held and supported. Yeah. And also to like connect you between earth and sky, because it's like you either wanted to be in one or the other. Yeah, like right. It's hard. It was difficult for you to be in both and like navigate that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. That's so
It
beautiful.
was so beautiful.
And the fact that Mother Earth was there as well is...
Oh, that she was also like being your mother.
My mother,
so, like, she
yeah.
takes, like she literally was your mother because you didn't have one that could like offer you that nourishment, and so it's like she takes all of the kids, like actually she like takes all of the souls of the kids who don't have the mothers that can nourish them, and she does it.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
That is so beautiful.
It's like so friggin' beautiful.
Isn't it, right? Yeah. Because I have such a connection with the earth. I mean, there was a storm the other day, and one of the trees in the garden, that half of it got blown over, and so I reported it to my landlord, and next minute somebody in my garden, they cut the whole fucking tree down. I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, they could have saved it, man, but it's gone now. It's gone. I was so upset for that tree.
Yeah.
So I went over to the...
Oh, you did go over to
I went over it. I went over to it this morning. Was it this morning or yesterday morning? And I just told it I was so sorry that they did that to it, and it's okay now. And then I've got a little bit of the tree which I brought in because I wanted to keep it as... I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to keep a bit of the tree. I don't know why.
Yeah, good. Now you do, because you're connected to it, because it's like your family.
Right?
Like, that was like who became your family. It was like the plants, the crystals, like the stones. Like, you were like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Because you were, like, you are such a part of it. So it's like, that makes sense to me, because it's like it's like a part of who you were. It's like those are your brothers and sisters.
Right? That's right. That totally makes sense. Oh, man, that's so cool. Oh, I wonder what gifts I'm going to be able to develop if I really put my mind to it.
Yeah, so that's like what you needed. It's like the gift is you, right? So it's like, what do you have access to? And even like bringing forward like that star piece, like singing that star song to the children, like it's like all of that, like that. It's like it didn't know how to fully offer itself, like it was there, and it's like been in your thoughts, but it's like you haven't known how to like shift it into an offering. And it's like, well, now because you needed the container, which was like her, so that can be like, oh, okay, now I know how to offer this.
Yeah. So now I just need to concentrate on my apothecary and just get off my phone and just be in there, be with the plants, and just be me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait. It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kim. That was so lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like so beautiful. Loved it. And I don't think we should wait a super long time to move into your chamber of passions.
Okay.
Like, I think that would feel good. Like, sit with this one for a few days.
Yeah.
But, like, I think let's book the next one, not in, like, you know what I mean? Like, we can do that one a little bit sooner.
Okay.
Than we've done the other ones, because it feels like this part felt like, okay, great. Like, now, like, let's like start moving into who you are.
Yeah.
And cultivating that. So whenever that feels good to you, like in the next month, I would do that.
Okay. All right, then. I'll book an appointment with you then. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you. Aww. It was so beautiful. Okay.
You're so sweet.
You.
Okay, you take care. Love you lots.
I'll see you soon.
Bye, lovely. Bye. Bye.